So, a very warm welcome to you as we start talking about women in politics, a different kind of leader. When we had a short chat a little while ago, she said, we shouldn't say that someone is a woman journalist or a woman politician. But the fact of life, Jothimani ji, is that it is difficult for women because traditionally, I think the reason why we sometimes specify it's a female journalist or a female politician is because these roles have traditionally been played only by men, which is why we need reservation today, right? So that there is more representation of women. So, what is special about being a female politician in India?
Good evening to all. Thank you for your kind words. See, always it's special for women to be in politics because, as you said, it's basically been seen as a male-dominant place, or it's a place for male. But it took a lot of time, hard work, resilience to
So, it
fight
is
this
harder.
state. Not little harder. It always there is a glass ceiling above your head. You have to watch it, but still you're trying to break it. That's how every woman politician, irrespective of the party or the position, has to go through. That way, it's very special. But also, what I personally believe, I first contested Panchayat election at the age of 21. So I have met many of the women Panchayat president, local body representatives, even MLAs, MPs, my colleagues now. See, we look at things differently. We give importance to things like education, health, skill development, women empowerment, but while our male counterparts prefer the infrastructure and other things. So that way approach as a gender, we have a different approach, but rest is the same.
Okay. It's interesting. I was speaking to a journalist who reports out of Tamil Nadu, and I said, I'm interviewing Jothimani ji. And he said that it is so interesting that you're getting to speak to a young leader of the Congress who doesn't come from a political family, but has Rahul Gandhi on her side. So I want to know about that connection between you and Mr. Gandhi, because I believe he's also proposed your name to be the chief of the state unit of the Congress.
That's up to my party to decide. But yes, I don't have a political background. Even I contested the first Panchayat election. My family was completely dead against it, especially my mother. I lost my father. I was very young. I'm an only daughter. So politics is still perceived to be a bad place for a woman. So which we are talking about 25 years back. So that is the first time woman reservation has been implemented in Tamil Nadu thanks to Rajiv ji. So that time then the constituency which I decided to fight, the panchayat was reserved for women. So many people was telling this a Kaligalam has come, that is why a woman alone can contest in the constituency. So that was how it was earlier. So then I won consecutively 2 elections and I walked in the grassroots politics because I was strongly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi and I met Raulji in 2006 in a camp for a youth Congress people. He handpicked me. Then we are all been, that time he tried to change the political system, of course, which he's still trying. He handpicked some around 100 people through a young MP's team that time, including Sachin Pilot, Jitendra Singh, many of them. So he kept all of us given an in charge of a state. I was in charge of Kerala, like a professional period. We were there 1 year. Then again, 2-3 round of interviews have happened for the Youth Congress national body. So he handpicked 17, 18 of us. It was not an easy job. That time, Youth Congress went for a transformation process. We introduced the democratic process within the Youth Congress. Still, Youth Congress is going for an election. So that's how he handpicked all of us. That 6 years where I walked with him under his leadership was very important because that is how we travel across the country. We have to walk 20 hours a day, including him. There is no option. So that helps us to understand idea of India. See, we are from down south. We are definitely, I can say this proudly, we are much ahead of many of the states.
Many parameters, yeah.
So then we understand the complexity of the country. We understand every state. We understand issues. then we understand politics very deeply. That time we were in power. So the power which Congress party has in the union government and the youth Congress, which is completely kept away from that power, is completely something which helped all of us to understand politics better.
But let's talk about now, there is so much talk about infighting within the state unit, and this is very close to a general election coming up. Your name has been doing the rounds to become the next chief of the party in the state. 2 years now. Why is there hesitance from the high command?
See, this all generally media speculation. Whenever Congress party has announced its name, they will announce it. They have done it in the past. Even my colleague Raja Brar from Youth Congress, a young MLA from Punjab, has been announced. My another friend from Mumbai, she's also announced. There is a
but so close to a general election, and this speculation still going on. See, that can't benefit the party.
See, this has started long time back, but it's happening in even all other parties also. Even BJP it was happened. But only national parties has its chiefs announced from Delhi. So this is keep happening. But as far as I am concerned, I am not someone who think politics through the prism of position. See, there is always many of us actually in the Congress party contradict to the belief Congress party is only for the dynasts. Many of us are in the ground. Every day, actually, you're learning something. Whenever any position or any responsibility comes to you, you will see it that time. I don't give much attention to those things now.
She's not giving anything away, clearly. So we'll move on to the next question, which is to do with the women's reservation bill. Of course, a landmark moment for India, but curtailed in the sense that till the constituencies are redrawn, we will not see it actually being executed and implemented. You also mentioned, reservation at the panchayat level for women back when you were contesting. So what is stopping the Congress party and other political parties to actually make it a mandate to have 33% reservation for their women leaders in party positions? What's stopping the Congress from doing that?
See, ideally every party has reserved a certain amount of seats to women. That will be good, because in such a scenario, you don't need to women fighting against a woman. More than 33% women, more than 50% women can make it to assemblies and parliament in that case. But generally, as I already said, there is a reservation as a law. If it is not there, it's not easy within the political parties to get women their due. See, whatever we have seen in the society, the mindset which is prevailing in the political parties, irrespective of party, but the ratio might be different. Some parties progressive, like ours, the ratio will be much higher. Some parties conventionally against women empowerment, like RSS influenced BJP, has a less ratio. But unless until it doesn't become a law, it's very difficult. As I said, even having a law, 33% reservation in Panchayat Raj, then many people felt, how come women alone fight a seat? Still, it's not people. You could see many people say that women are binamis to their husband, brother. I used to ask them back, see, you have a 70 years of history in the assemblies and the parliament. How many of the male MPs has stood up and spoke on their issues? Nobody will ask all men going to the parliament is waste. Then why do you come around a woman? There have been like a poetry in the Sri Lankan Tamil poet, I forgot his name, which he said, 300 years you've been in the kitchen, so you will know which things is in which place. So like this, we've been completely barred from this for ages. So now we come this, you cannot expect every woman will be perform overnight, but there are many people like me, even I didn't perform overnight. It took a lot of time for me. I was playing with kids in the street. After 5 years, I got elected. So slowly we will learn. So that's why actually, in my personal view, until it's become a law, it will not happen. But unfortunately, we were all very happy for a 24 hours in the last parliament session. We thought it will be through, though we have our own skepticism. But finally, when the draft came to us, then we were very much disappointed that this is actually election gimmicks. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But I wish Rahulji also promised, if Congress comes to power, definitely the first sign will be of this women reservation bill.
Okay, and I hope that there can be changes at the political party level as well, because like you said, perhaps more training also required for women leaders when they enter the fray.
See, why it's very important to have a still political party level grooming a woman leadership. See, election is all about winning. and performing after the winning. So when women leaders should given a due position in the party structure from booth to district level. You see many of the political parties, the block level leadership and the district level leadership, state level leadership is men. So that way actually that practice has to start from the political parties, as you rightly said, from the party structure. Then we will have a very better leadership coming to the fray.
Okay. So, talking about role models and women in politics, Jayalalitha, the most successful female politician, not just, in southern India, but arguably across the country. I understand there's a difference in ideologies, but was she somebody that you looked up to?
See, it's obviously Indira Gandhi and my mother. So these are all the, of course, my mother likes Indira Gandhi a lot. So these are all the two women when I started observing politics impressed me very much. But when I started working in a Congress party and closely observe the UPA, especially UPA 1 and 2, where Sonia ji was a guiding light. I'm very much influenced by her not because she's from my party, the way she conduct herself against the adverse conditions, how she take up the criticisms, views patiently. Even the parliamentary party happen almost every day. We will have a parliamentary party meeting whenever session is on. She will ensure everybody is listened. If somebody is having a meeting, then somebody raise their hands. If she's not, people are not seeing, then she will say, no, he is or she is want to say something.
But
so that way she's very inclusive.
Let me focus on the South, since you're sitting in Chennai. Did you never look up to Jayalalitha? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, I like Jayalalitha. I love Jayalalitha. She might be from the different party. In Tamil Nadu, I don't think any woman cutting across the party line will say, I don't like Jayalalitha. We might not have like her politics or her governance, we might have a different view. But as a leader, a woman from politics, actually, that is why I'm saying you see Jayalalitha, Indira Gandhi, Mayawati, Sheila Dikshit, Sonia Gandhi, Sushma Swaraj, then you cannot say you are a woman leader. There is an injustice to women if you are saying like this. Jayalalitha, we are all been seen and idealized because she has a very iron hand and she never back off. That way, I personally like Jayalalitha a lot.
I'm glad to hear that. No, you are, like I said, seen as a young leader from the Congress here.
But not really, yeah. I'm 49.
That's the thing about politics. That's very young in politics, isn't it? But let's say you are closer to the youth than some of the older members of the party. With a general election coming up, what are some of the aspirations that younger members of your constituency discussed with you?
See, obviously jobs. I used to travel a lot. Even now, I have just covered 50% of my constituency, village to village. So, a youngster wanted job. Second thing, they have a better educational atmosphere. Maybe the current education and the current employment has a huge gap of skills. So that is the two things actually people want: A, skill, B, employment.
And when we talk of the general election, we have to talk about the India bloc and the fact that there is no clear prime ministerial candidate. And it seems like that's a struggle, to come to a consensus for. Arguably, and I think some people would say that I'm completely wrong when I say the word arguably, but there is a Modi wave still very much on. And in that light, not having a prime ministerial candidate, that can't work in your favor, some would say.
See, maybe in the media, some section of media, Modi wave is still on. But I don't think really it's in the ground because you see a 40 years of unemployment. You see how Manipur is burning, how women are treated. You see the price rise, how the government almost 30 crore workers across the country. Almost 10-15 crores are active worker. 10th week there is no salary because there is no money allotted for the Rural Development Ministry. Rural Development Ministry, after 3 months, writing to the Finance Ministry. This is how this government is functioning. I don't think there is a Modi wave anywhere exists, but still election is not easy because they have a huge machinery, many things at their disposal, from starting from the election commission, as RG used to say, how the infrastructure of this nation is completely controlled by them, the amount of money they are pumping into elections, even after the election. So that way, we have to take these elections very seriously. But I have closely worked in the Karnataka elections, and we are also seeing the Congress Party. Congress Party is completely transformed and changed to fight against this brutal BJP. I think not only we won Karnataka, we are winning 5 states, and we are going to form the government at the center. We have no doubt it.
Well, we had a session earlier where you would have had a lot of disagreement from, the BJP representative, but you did not answer my question. The fact that the India bloc does not have a prime ministerial candidate.
See, remember the 2004 election? It was Sonia ji who ran around and campaigned for the Congress Party, but we haven't announced her as a prime minister candidate. But in my view, people have voted for her because she was the only visible face that time of UPA. So I think Indian voters are very smart. It doesn't matter you are announcing or not announcing. We haven't announced a chief minister candidate in Karnataka. So, but our manifesto has spoken very well. So that way, now people are in the distress. This 9 years of Modi government is a disaster in any parameter. Forget about the, I'm a Congress member, I'm saying it. But you see the real figure, it's completely disappointing, completely in a mess. So in that way, India bloc has to come up with very good promises. They have, in India, government has to present a vision document to this country, I think, which we are going to do it.
Okay, but so I'm sorry, I'm taking this point further. So there is not going to be a PM face before the elections.
Yeah, I'm not someone who can address this issue, but obviously every time the India bloc meeting is happening, there is a lot of improvement, lot of discussion, lot of people are trying to iron out the differences. We are improving a lot. We never know, it might happen also. It's too early to say how come we can say the prime minister candidate will not be announced. Might be also.
Sure. Now, what also happens when you have so many political parties coming together is difference of opinion on various issues. The Sanatan Dharm comment being the last which enraged many voters, that couldn't have helped.
Sorry?
The fact that the comment against Sanatan Dharm was made, part of the India alliance, the leader is, and that is something that would turn off a lot of voters. So how did Congress handle that?
See, election is a completely different machinery, because at the end of the day, you have to convert every vote in our favor, and you have to physically convince them to come and vote for you. So it's a lot of physical hard work is happening. And second thing is, now the last 9 years, especially last 5 years, things has dramatically changed in terms of WhatsApp. Whatever the WhatsApp spreads, it's been seen as a truth. That's one of the reason, as you said, the Modi wave still exists, because it still exists in the WhatsApp. So that we need to counter very hard. But I think we are putting up a machinery to do this as a parties separately, as a India alliance together. But apart from that, RG's Padayatra has helped to galvanize the Congress Party and their Congress Party cadres and the public at large, because I walked throughout the yatra. We have seen lakhs of people coming and joining the yatra. We couldn't manage the crowd. After Kerala, we stopped managing because we couldn't manage the crowd. So we used to go along with the wave. So that way, the Padayatra has helped the opposition to present their case.
Okay, I actually wanted to talk to you about the Bharat Jodo Yatra, because she was one of the prominent faces throughout, that entire campaign. What was personally your biggest learning from that experience?
See, whatever the technology we have, it's almost every year it's changing. Still, the oldest thing is genuinely connecting people in the ground is the best political thing any political party can do. That's my biggest learning in that.
Okay, that's interesting. And I think how technology is being used sometimes also to spread misinformation. That is also
one of the biggest thing why I'm saying is there are millions of money has been spent to defame RG. That is not true. But within the 10 days of Padayatra, we are able to break the myth. People would see who really the Rahul Gandhi is. You said there is no prime minister candidate or not. People will see RG as Rahul Gandhi as the prime minister candidate. He's the tallest leader in the country now. You can't deny that.
Okay. Rahul Gandhi also recently said after the Bihar caste survey that states ruled by the Congress will see such surveys taking place. And then the criticism to that comment has been that this is appeasement of a different kind. How do you react to that?
See, what is this an appeasement? I don't understand. It's simply a data. See, I am now every party is, every community is claiming we are in this much percent, we are in this much percent. But nobody is, of course, SC, ST, we have a data. But OBC, we don't have a data. What is wrong? To have an actual data and get it released. There is no appeasement in it. So then this kind of this appeasement, what is an appeasement? A particular community, a particular section of people representing the key infrastructure of this country, almost 90% is not an appeasement. What does it mean? We are saying that other section of the community, all other communities across India, which is consist of around 85%. We don't have a brain or what? That cannot be a case. Definitely every community, irrespective of their community background, there are brilliant people. We have seen Sam Pitroda. Which community he is belong? Will you deny him a space? We can't do it. There are so many people can come across like this. So why we have to talk about the representation? This appeasement thing is coming. When 15% people controlling the complete economy of the country, judiciary of the country, official administration of this country, political system of the country, then we don't see it an appeasement. This itself a problem because this kind of theories floated by the influential section of the society to control the power in their hand. They do not want other communities to get into that space. It's been controlled for centuries. At this time to break it, how you break it, you can do it scientifically. That is how this caste data comes in. It's not new. Congress, when UPA 2 has had the caste census, but we couldn't release it. That's the problem.
Okay. So Jothimani, I'm going to come back to being a woman in politics. In general, there is so much discussion around work-life balance. How are you able to achieve that? Because we might learn from you.
See, I'm an exceptional case because I don't have a family to balance. I lost my father, I was very young. I lost my mother 6 years back. I lost my cat also 4 years back. So I'm alone because I don't have a family to spend time. But I used to take time out to read and write. Now it's been considerably reduced, which I regret.
I was about to ask, I think one of her passions has been writing. So are you continuing with that, right?
I was a writer, no longer, but now I'm going to write an article on Bharat Jodo Yatra. So maybe I have to restart like that.
Okay, final question, Jothimani ji, would be that there is a young audience that is watching you on social media. And what would be your message to them, especially the girls? Because like you said, that till today, if you're a young woman, you may think twice, even if you have the intention to join politics. So what is your advice to them?
See, even my experience, you want to fight for a justice. A man can take up any issue, they can fight directly justice. But woman wanted to fight for a justice, you have to do two times. First, you have to fight your gender, then you have to fight for issues. This is keep coming, whether you are a politician, you are a journalist, or you are students, this has been for this centuries practice is there. The only way to fight this out is be brave and follow your heart. That's the best way, which I'm not saying this an advice which I don't believe in. I'm just sharing my experience.